Our story today has to do with a very young girl that had everything going for her, but she still chose the path of violence. So it was just so confusing to a lot of people because this girl, it seems she had everything that she could ever ask for. She was going to a very good school. She had good parents, relatively rich parents, but she still chose the path of violence. She still chose the path of crime. So today we are going to talk about the case of Kemi Adeyoola. This happened in North London in 2005. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda Kamara and you're on Crime Stories with Linda. If you like true crime stories that happen all over the world, please don't hesitate to subscribe. And let's just dive into this case. So this happened in 2005. Kemi Adeyoola was born in 1987 into a family that was relatively rich. Her dad was from Nigeria, Mr. Bola Adeyoola. He was a boxer, but by the time he was boxing, he met his wife Mercuria. She's from Barbados. So they dated for a while and they got married. So after they are married, they were able to have 3 girls. So Kemi was the middle child. So they were trained very well. They were growing up in affluence. They went to the best schools. They had everything going for them. But their family, when Kemi was 11 years old, her mom and her dad started having marital problems, which eventually led to divorce. So Kemi and the sisters, they left with her mom. So they stayed with her mother. They were moving from one place to another. So, during the divorce settlement, Kemi's mother was able to gain like £4 million from that divorce. So they were okay. How many people has £4 million? So they were relatively okay, but they were moving from one place to another. So at the end of the day, they were staying in North London. So during the time they were staying in North London, Kemi started developing behavioral problems. She would kill their neighbors' goldfishes. She would kill their pets. She would play roughly with the pets. She would kill some of their pets. She wouldn't treat animals right. She was playing roughly with animals. She was just behaving abnormally. So her mom was talking. Her dad would come around and still try to chide her into behaving normal, but she was not having any of it. So when she became a teenager, she started shoplifting. She found out how to forge receipts. So she was forging receipts, she was writing checks. So she was just doing a lot of small thefts from the supermarkets around their area. Even in school, the teachers would say Kemi is a very intelligent girl, but she's very manipulative. She's very this, she's very that, she's rude, she's that. So she was haughty. She was doing all manner of things. She was arrested firstly for assaulting one of their neighbors. So after that, she was released. Then she still continued shoplifting, and at the end of the day, she was arrested and taken to young offenders home, and that was where she was staying for a while. Then while staying there, she wrote 18-page manual for killing. As in, she wrote a manual for a killing manual. That was what she wrote. And that home, during one of their searches, when she's in an institution, a crime institution like that for young offenders, sometimes they will be like routine searches. So during one of the routine search, they found that 18-page manual. But the psychiatrist there met her, they talked. Then the psychiatrist cleared her, said okay, maybe because Kemi claimed that she wrote that manual, that it was just a rough creative novel for a crime novel, that she is interested in writing crime novels. She even had like authors that she really liked that wrote crime novels that she was looking up to. So she told the psychiatrist that she wanted to develop a crime novel with those things that she wrote. So they believed her because the psychiatrist, she even told the psychiatrist about her academic records. She lied about her academic records and told the psychiatrist that she's an A student and all of that. So the psychiatrist was like, she should be released into the society, that she feels that with the right help, with the right help, that Kemi will go on to be a good person, that she will go on to be fruitful to the society, she will go on to do good things to the society, she will be able to live in the society. So she was eventually released, and nothing much was said about that 18-page manual, killing manual that she wrote. So she just left, and that was how she continued with her life. When she left the young offenders home, she was able to rent a she was able to rent an apartment in a highbrow area of London, where she was paying £800 per month on rent. You know how much £800 was? 2006. So not 2006, 2004, 2005. So she was living in that highbrow area with her friend. So when the authorities will come around to ask her how she is able to pay for that kind of apartment, she will tell them that she is now an escort, that she gets paid £500 every day, that she makes sometimes £5,000 a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. So she told them like that, and they left her. So that was what she was able. During that time, she was still shoplifting and all of that, but though she was not caught. So in 2005, 14th of March. So, but before then, Anne Mendel and Leonard Mendel, they were neighbors to Kemi when she was growing up in her former neighborhood. So in that northwest London, these people were there, they were their neighbors. So sometimes there was a day that Kemi came home and she was locked outside the key, she was not with the key. So Anne had to invite her into her home to stay with her, and she treated her right, because Anne was known to be a very good person that goes out of her way to help people. So she was a very good woman. She was 84 years old at the time of this case. So she was very good, very good to Kemi. Even her husband, that was a retired postal officer, he too was good. They were good to Kemi. She would come around. So when she left after that day that they entertained her, she would normally come to their house and they entertain her, they play with her, they talk with her. So they didn't really see her as a threat. So they saw her as a young lady that was having issues because of her behavioral problems, that she would still be okay. You know, they didn't take her they didn't take her as a very they didn't take her as a criminal. Anne and Leonard, they had two children. One of their children was staying in Israel, and the other one was still in the same London with them, but they were not staying together. So they are empty nesters. Their children had left the nest, so they were just, and they had grandchildren. They had lots of grandchildren. So they took Kemi as one of their grandchildren. They took her as their own child. They were so good to her. So on 14th of March 2005, Leonard left the house to go and buy the tickets for their book the tickets for their visit to Israel. So only Anne was at home. So when Kemi came and met with Anne, nobody knew what really happened, because till this day Kemi is still denying her part of this crime. She's still denying it. But the police, from the evidences found on the crime scene, the police believe that when Leonard left, Kemi came to meet Anne, and Anne, being the kind of person that she is, opened the doors for her. She was happy to see Kemi, because this was not her first time of coming to their house. So she opened the doors for her, and when Kemi came in, and as Anne was leading her into the house, Kemi attacked her with a knife and stabbed her 14 times. So she fell on the floor. Then Kemi, she ransacked the house and ran off. And in her killing manual that Kemi wrote, she had written how she would target old, frail people that she will have to study them, know their routine, and then attack them, and from there get money from them and move on. That's how she'll be able to make money to be able to take care of herself. That she will have to, because that manner she wrote down on how to stay different types of killings. She wrote about stabbings. She wrote about poisonings that she would have to like track, that she will have to track frail, old, rich, rich people. Then she would attack them and to take their money and live a good life. So, and she even wrote how she'll be able to divert the attention of the police, that it will be their spouse, and to be their spouse that will be held accountable for this crime, that she will not be held accountable for it. She would like say that she would commit that crime and make it seem as if it was their spouse that committed that crime, that she will not be held responsible for it. So they figured that day that she came into their house to kill Anne, that she was possibly staying, stalking them and staying outside, as in she was outside them, maybe trying to know when Leonard will leave so that she will come in and commit this crime. She had already gone to bribe a bus driver to say that she was inside her bus during the time of this murder. She went to she forged receipts of her shopping in going to buy laptop charger. She forged different things that will make her. She even got her friend to say that she was with her during the time of this crime. So she just at the alibi, she was planning ahead. For a very young girl like that, she planned ahead for everything to get her alibi very right, so that she will not be able to held for this crime. After stabbing and she ran out of that house and left. So Leonard, when he came in with the tickets that he had gone to buy and everything, he opened the door, came into the house and saw Anne lying on the floor. At first, he was confused that what happened. Then he pulled and he walked close to her and looked well and found out that her body was covered with blood. Then he had to call the police. And when the police got there, they were at first confused. The whole place looked ransacked. It looked like a burglary gone wrong. So they felt it was a burglary gone wrong. But during after much investigations and forensic analysis, it was found that there were fingerprints there, and there was a drop of blood at the scene that was not Anne's blood, and that was when it was revealed that it was Kemi's blood there, and on Anne's finger, Mrs. Mendel's fingers, there were DNA of Anne there, so, DNA of Kemi there. So, during the investigation, Kemi was called in, and as she was being interrogated, Kemi said that she met Mrs. Mendel a day before her mother, and when they were crossing the road, that they held hands together, that maybe that she scratched her. That was why she had her DNA under her fingers, but the fingernails in her fingernails. So the police couldn't believe her, because how so convenient. The killing manner that you wrote is it tailored almost the same thing that happened with this mother. Then the day before the murder, you met Mrs. Mendel and she scratched you. Everything was just so convenient. So it was so convenient that it had to be a lie. It had to be a lie. So, and after much, during the investigation, during the interrogation, they interrogated 16-year-old friend of Kemi's, and the girl was able to tell them that Kemi told her to lie for her, to be the alibi for her, that she was with her during the murder. So, and that was what sealed her faith that she was the one that committed this crime. And with all her fingerprints and her DNA found on the scene, it sealed her faith. During the trial, she was still saying that she didn't commit this. The prosecutors brought out all the evidence, the killing manual where it was read in court, where she wrote different things about the method of killing and how she would be able to make money from this and set up herself for life. How she was not able to stay in school because that expensive school that she was in, her mother at the end of the day was not able to pay for the school. They were not able to, she was not able to afford. They had to move her to another school, and from that school she got worse. So she doesn't have any degree, she doesn't have any degree. She was all the shoplifting that she has ever done, all the assault and other things, they all came to play during her trial. And at the end of the day, she was sentenced to life imprisonment with the minimum of 20 years, with parole minimum of 20 years. And till this day, she's still in prison. She's still serving out her sentence. Her dad had to come out and say that what she did was very, very wrong, and that she is no longer his daughter. So he disowned her, or washed off his hand out of the case. So Kemi is still in prison till this day. In 2016, when it was 10 years, they brought her to the parole board, but she couldn't make it because in prison she was still a bully in prison. There were a lot of complaints about her and things that she was doing in prison to other inmates. So she was not paroled, and she's still in prison till now. So by next year it will be 20 years, Abby. Yeah, or this year. Yeah, this year will make it 20 years that she has been in prison. So she has been in prison for a while and she's still there. She just destroyed her life because she wanted to be rich fast by killing people. Prosecutors believe that if she had not been caught, that she would have gone on to do more. Because at first they were thinking that it was burglary. She was not even looked at until the forensics of that analysis of result of that crime scene came out. She was not looked at. Nobody associated her with that crime until the forensics results came out, and it was found that she was at the crime scene, that she was the one that perpetrated this crime. With that claim manner, they were saying that she would have been able to do more, and that maybe this is her trial run. This is her trial run. That if she had gone, she had been able to scale through with this, that she would have gone on to maybe a richer victim and do it to more people before she will eventually be caught. So this is the case of Kemi. She's from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. This is the first case I'm covering that had to do with a Nigerian. And it's very shocking that this happened. This very young girl. I cover cases of teenagers from United States and other places, and this is the first time I'm covering the one that the perpetrator is from my country. And it's so shocking. Some people said that she was born to kill because that manual, and they were blaming that young offenders institution that she came out from. Now, assuming they were able to take that manual, their 18-page manual, for someone to write 18 pages. She was saying that it was a novel, that it was just her jottings for a main novel, crime novel that she wants to write. Assuming they took her seriously, that this wouldn't have gone on to happen. Maybe Mrs. Mendel would have been able to live her life to the end without someone interrupting it. This couple, they've been married for 50 years. Now someone from nowhere just came and cut the life of Mrs. Mendel short. Mr. Mendel, her husband had to move to Israel to go and stay with his daughter. So it was just a very chaotic event that happened, and this is really so heartbreaking. She was 17 as at the time of this crime. It was just like a criminal mastermind for her to be at 17 and doing all of this. You wonder what would have happened if she was not caught. So what are your thoughts? Even experienced detectives described it as one of the most chilling cases that they've ever seen. A teenager whose writings read like the diary of a serial killer. Kemi Adeyoola remains in prison today. Her story stands as a haunting reminder that evil can exist anywhere, even behind the walls of wealth and success. What do you think drove Kemi to such darkness? Was it greed, mental illness, or pure evil? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you love true crime stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Please stay safe.